Oh, Edwards, another slide there, and Biffle's going to be on him.
Yeah, I think that Carl used this stuff up. That sliding around is that these tires just will not take that.
Edwards' first Atlanta Cup race was here his first Atlanta race last October. He started fourth, finished third, led 15 laps. Having a good or better day right now.
Now he's got his hands full with his teammate. The smart thing for Carl to do, don't wreck the car, let Biffle go.
But you know, it looks like the whole 99 team is supporting one another. You hear Bobby Hudson supporting Carl Edwards.
That's your call. Do it.
Bob Osborne supporting Carl, and then you see Jack Roush over there supporting Bob Osborne, telling him good job.
And you heard Doug tell Greg the 99 is asking for mercy.
You can't do it. You still got the leader in sight. How can you let him go, Darrell?
Leave me alone. Well, depends on what you got left, I guess.
You got 3 laps left is what you got. Carl, they come to the line.
Try to go high now, and I like that idea. If your tires are giving up, find you another place to run, and high would be good.
I think as loose as that car is, that's the only place he can probably run it right now.
And you can see they put a little distance. Man, and he scraped the wall going down into turn 1 that time. He just got the tail right against it going down into 1.
But he was the fastest of all drivers on that lap.
That's a battle for 5th right there. Casey Kane in the 9 on the high side. We've seen him there all day long, as well as Brian Vickers in the 25.
See, what I like about a guy like Carl Edwards, what you don't know, you don't know. And he don't know that he needs to be taking it easy right now. He just closed up a bunch off of turn 2 or 4. He moved up the racetrack, and it is really helping him. I mean, he is closing fast now. He's got that high line. He's cutting that gap down, boys.
And he's pulling away from Greg Biffle, but he better hurry, Darrell. Lap and a half to go, halfway down the back.
He's coming.
4/10 of a second last lap, 3/10 of a second 2 laps ago. And
this is going to be another one of those Atlantas. I'm telling you, they're going to be side by side when they come to the line next time by.
Here they go. White flag, boys. Last time.
He's there.
Cut the margin in less than half.
Hey, boys, watch this. Jimmy goes up high to block him. That may or may not be good.
He can get that run right here if he can get it. Keep that momentum.
He's going to get a run at him.
He'll get one shot at turns 3 and 4.
I'm telling you, they're going to be side by side when they come to the line. It's going to be another one of those fantastic Atlanta finishes.
Johnson tries to block him as who can stay in the throttle here on turn 12.
And here they come, and I think Cole's got the advantage.
Brian Vickers breaking his duck, scoring his first victory in Nextel Cup, or Mark Martin to get Jack Roush's first ever Pocono win. Green-white checker as we begin lap 200.
Carl got that good start. He jumped out there just far enough that he should be in good shape.
Pretty clean restart for everyone. Single foul off into turn 1.
Here comes Mark. He's looking to the inside of the 25. Kenny Schrader's up in the wall. Kenny Schrader.
Looked like the 25 wiggled and Mark Martin wiggled. Mark lost a lot of ground. He's got a lot of pressure from Kyle Busch in the 5, who wants that 3rd position as well.
Wow.
Now Schrader keeps going. That will not force a caution, we don't think. Lap and a half to go. Boy. Ryan Newman released from the care center.
I believe
okay.
Mark Martin's got a problem. Got a car in the wall. It's Bobby Labonte in turn 2.
Caution. At lap 199, caution is out, and we are going to have to check with NASCAR to see if we have already entered the green flag checker scenario. So caution comes out with the white.
We get one shot at a green-white checkered.
And the question will be, did we already have it when the green came out with 2 to go?
Well, Carl Edwards thinks we did. You get one attempt, and then
that was the one attempt.
Exactly.
That was the one attempt.
I mean, that should be the race.
It is. The green flag waved to begin lap 200, which meant that we were already into overtime. So that started the green.
The racetrack, cross start finish line, then come all the way back around.
That started the green-white checker scenario, and if the caution comes out after that green flag, the field is frozen at the timing line just passed, and the order of finish determined.
And who that really benefited was Mark Martin, because we're getting a report he did have a flat tire. Remember, the field was frozen the minute the caution was displayed.
However, and there is a however, Larry, I believe Mark will have to come across the finish line in order to retain his position.
You have to maintain caution speed, and you have to cross the start-finish line. You heard him telling Carl Edwards, make sure you cross the start-finish line another time. There you see Mark right there. I think he'll be okay, and he'll make it.
So Schrader wrecks in turn 1, but keeps going. Bobby Labonte crashes in turn 2, and the race is over. So let's see, Darrell, let's review. Who'd you pick for today?
That 99 car. I just had, his spotter and I, we had a little meeting before the race started. And I said, how good are you? And he said, DW, I think he can win this race. I said, he's a rookie.
But he just came to the TV booth to tell you. I told you, DW.
Right. He was right on.
He stuck his head in there for a second.
Yeah, Bobby Hudson, great job for everybody on that team.
White flag for Carl Edwards. It's just been a pleasure to work with throughout the season. A lot of charm, a lot of determination to the Nextel Cup Series.
He has been a breath of fresh air.
Came here in Atlanta, won the Busch race, came back the next day, won the Nextel Cup race. Benny talked about it. Sweeps have become in fashion here in the Nextel Cup Series, and Carl Edwards sweeps at Atlanta. Less than 2 laps to go. Carl Edwards around Mark Martin.
Baby, don't overdo it now. Clear, 1 back.
Carl's mother watches from pit road. Last lap.
Flag you're looking at is 3 back. 3 back.
Pretty impressive. Unbelievable what that is.
Edwards going for 2 in a row. Won last Sunday in Atlanta. Stewart is 6th, and that really will affect the championship standings as we head for Phoenix next week. Carl Edwards.
You can take a break. It's yours.
Off the 4. It is his. Carl Edwards wins at Texas. That was something to watch.
Great job, guys. Is it over for sure?
It's over, buddy. Drive it around. Break time.
See the running order on the crawl at the top of the screen. Truex runs 2nd. He's about 3.5 seconds behind Carl Edwards. There's Edwards in the 99. Knocks Michael off the lead lap.
White flag.
Last lap for Carl Edwards at Michigan.
1 lap. Be cautious. Be safe. You got plenty of room, 40.
In 2005, he had 4 wins, finished 3rd in the chase. Last year, he struggled almost the entire season, never found his way to victory lane. Just after Memorial Day, he spent a day on the USS Enterprise with over 5,500 sailors. Signed autographs for an hour, got to launch F-18s off the deck. He said they inspired him. Carl Edwards off of 4, and after 52 races without a victory, Carl Edwards wins at Michigan.
Is it over for sure? It's over. It's over. I'm looking at the flags.
That's Bobby Hudson, the spotter for Carl Edwards, up on the roof, just walking him through these last couple of laps.
Carl Edwards could lock himself into the chase for the Nextel Cup if he hangs on and wins it tonight. It would be his 2nd win in 2007, and Carl Edwards will come down and take the checkered flag out of turn 4 as a winner in Bristol, Tennessee. The 7 car spins around. Robbie Gordon is here on the final lap. There's contact. Coming down, it'll be 4 laps to go when they cross the stripe right there for the restart. Edwards, Martin, Biffle, Earnhardt, Jr. Here goes Biffle on the high side of Mark Martin.
And Biffle made that move work on Dale Earnhardt Jr. the last restart, and it worked this time for him.
Well, he did strike like a rattlesnake. His car is great right here.
He didn't think about nothing. He just went for it. And take a look at Dale Jr. underneath Mark Martin right now doing the same thing, but on the bottom side of the track.
3 laps to go, 4 back. Don't overdrive it, you're good.
Greg Biffle's a hungry race car driver right now.
Biffle's last victory was the season finale at Homestead a year ago. Earnhardt Jr. with 4 fresh tires trying to get beneath the 01 car of Mark Martin.
That last time by, though, Carl Edwards was faster than Greg Biffle, even though Edwards has got older tires. Look at that, I'm putting some distance on him right now. The rear end of the 16 car hung out, going for it.
And these guys are driving hard.
2 laps to go.
Carl Edwards trying to hang on. He has never won at Dover, Delaware. This is his 7th trip to the Monster Mile. And what a monster this racetrack has been today. Smoke billowing from beneath the 1 car right in front of the leaders. They come by.
White flag.
Less than a mile to go for Carl Edwards. Trying to take over the lead in the chase for the Nextel Cup. Trying to become the first driver to lead the NASCAR Busch and the NASCAR Nextel Cup point standings. 2 turns away from victory at the Monster Mile. And here he comes down. Carl Edwards picks up win number 3 in 2007.
Fast as you drive these race cars the way you do, brother. Woo! Woo! That's right. That is right. That was awesome, guys.
2 to go.
2 to go. All lap down cars right there, buddy. All multiple laps.
There's the hardware right there.
A Woody, a Southern California
man.
Surf Woody. You got to love that.
Yeah, I'll tell you, and that's perfect for Carl. I can see Carl driving that baby.
You know, I was down at Ford Premier Group headquarters earlier in this week, and that's also the Ford West Coast Styling Studio. And for inspiration, what's in the lobby? 65 Mustang and 2 Ford Surf Woodies like the one on that trophy.
I believe I'd take this little hot rod right here and run it right in there alongside of him, because this has been a real performance today by Carl and Roush and the whole crowd. It's a good job, boys. Coming to the white flag, 1 to go.
Past Joe Nemechek, who'll finish 34th today.
Nice and smooth, bud. Last lap here.
Just tiptoe, baby, just tiptoe.
Yeah, with Clear and Nemechek, he's pretty much got smooth sailing, getting close to half a lap to go.
Don't let go of that wood. Don't wave at anybody. Just bring her home.
Looking for his 7th top 6 finish in 8 starts here in Southern California.
Got a
Spin. Car in the wall. Jarrett.
The caution is out, so the field is frozen. The race is over right there because we're on the white flag lap.
Dale Jarrett's car rolls down from the banking.
Once you enter into the white flag lap and there's a caution, the race is over.
Yellow came out after the white flag.
Checkered flag. Carl Edwards wins the Auto Club 500, his first victory at California Speedway, and the 11th victory here for Roush Racing. 6 in Sprint Cup, 6 in the Nationwide Series, and 2 in the Craftsman Truck Series.
Good job. And lost. Somebody's getting ready to win one.
You'll know in 3 miles.
Green flag.
Much better start by the 88 that time. No wheel spin that time.
Kevin Harvick laid back just a little bit in that 29 car on Greg Biffle. Dale Earnhardt Jr. staying right with him.
Look at Biffle go the outside.
Biffle gets a run on the high side.
I don't know if he can make that stick or not.
But the high side is where those Fords have been their best all day.
Boy, Carl's shot out of a cannon down the back straightaway.
There goes Biffle up to the 2nd groove. He just can't get the bite up there. They'll be coming white flag this time. 1 to go.
I believe Biffle's going to make a run on Junior as they go down in toward turn 1 here. He's looking around. He's looking inside. He's looking outside.
You got good gap here. Run away with it.
Biffle's to the outside of Junior off of 2. Can't quite get there.
He'll have one more shot as Carl Edwards pulls away. Half a lap to go.
Carl's loving this. He's looking in the mirror saying, bye-bye, boys.
Harvick coming into the picture.
See you at the casino.
Single file. Biffle looks high.
Whoa, Biffle.
And for the 9th time in his Sprint Cup career, Carl Edwards will go to victory lane.
2 in a row. Way to go, Carl.
Hey, well, on. We had a side-by-side battle for 6 between Casey Kane and David Reagan.
It's over for sure, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, 10-4, checkered to waving here.
Really worried about that 48 being down there on the apron so much. He has got to be really wondering if he's going to have enough fuel.
And that's the reason he's down there.
Yeah.
Well, here we go, boys.
He wants to get a shot there.
Tighten your belts. One more time.
Don't spin the tires. Yikes. Carl left the outside open, I'll have to say that.
Here comes Clint Boyer with those 2 fresh tires. He's going for 3rd, going down into turn 1, side by side.
Almost 4 wide back where Newman and Kenseth battle.
Well, Kansas is in trouble. We see that.
Here comes smoke.
Here comes Clint Boyer again with those 2 fresh tires going out into 3. We'll be coming to the white flag. He's side by side with Kyle Busch.
That's 3 wide again.
That's exciting. That's exciting for 3rd, but ain't much happening up here in the front.
4 back.
Carl Edwards running away. The battle is back at 6th place.
Yeah, those guys that got tires are fighting with each other big time.
Yes, they are.
Newman, Kenseth, Tony Stewart, Jeff Burton on the outside, and Denny Hamlin. That's a hornet's nest.
Coming to the checkered flag.
Matt Kenseth's a big old sandwich.
Carl Edwards off turn 4. Will win the Samsung 500.
Oh, we got Clint Boyer sideways.
Denny Hamlin and Boyer got together, with Boyer ending up in the wall, but coming across the line in 4th.
Yeah, Hamlin got into Boyer, and I don't know how Clint kept from wrecking that thing. He did hit the wall, but he didn't wreck anybody else.
Yeah, that's unofficial. I think he actually came across Clint Boyer the last.
18, the points leader in the pits with 2 laps to go. How big would this be for the 18 car of Kyle Busch? Thought he was going to have a top 5 finish. And there are 31 cars on the lead lap. And Kyle's going to try to come in and get a splash of fuel and get back out in a hurry.
He's got to hurry, and hopefully he can get this car started. I'm sure he was out of fuel. The only reason he came down pit road. It's a long pit stop. There you go. They may have to shoot it again with that fuel to get it going. This is going to take a while to get him off pit road.
And Kyle Busch, by the way, pitted on the same lap that Carl Edwards pitted. Kyle is out of gas. Edwards has got a lap to go to the checkered flag.
They only have a certain number of spots they can push that car, right, Andy, down pit road.
3 pit
that car's not running.
They'll have to push it back to their pit.
Pass-through penalty being called for the 18. If he can get back on the racetrack, going to be a moot point here. But the question is, does Carl have enough fuel on the final lap?
The team's holding their breath right here. You can't see the car. All you're looking towards turn 3 and just hoping you see that car come off the corner. So far, so good for Carl. Into the tunnel turn.
And Carl is back in the throttle because...
This is the last lap, right? To be checkered flag this time. Bye, bud.
We said this team has been performing exceptionally well, and they've done everything right today. On the racetrack, in the pits, making the right calls, and it's going to get them another victory, it looks like.
Great car. Outstanding strategy and an impressive drive by Carl Edwards. He takes win number 4 on the season.
You are a wheel man. Cannot live without you, brother. I appreciate your efforts every day. Thank you.
Fans on their feet at Michigan International Speedway. David Reagan trying to get his career best finish. And Edwards just pulls away.
Got a great restart right there. The 99 car did. Not going to give Kyle that opportunity to get in his rear end. Here he goes.
Biffle trying to get on the outside of his teammate.
This doesn't look like it. Kyle has got a strong car on these on the first laps after these restarts.
Yeah, it's like he can't get the front tires to grip and go where he wants to go.
Jack Roush, who's shops for so many years, we're in Livonia, Michigan, so proud of his strong engines. And right now, one stout Ford pulling away from Kyle Busch. White flag.
Yeah, he had a good turn. Kyle Busch had a good turn 3 there, but I just don't think that he's got enough. Carl Edwards' car is just too strong, I believe. And these have been the 2 best cars pretty much most of the day. Dale Jr. was fast at the beginning, but for the last half of the race, these have been the 2 best cars.
Carl Edwards trying to come down and get win number 5. The all-important bonus points. 10 bonus points per win. Remember, he didn't get the bonus points for the Las Vegas win because of the violation they had with the oil tank cover. Here he comes out of turn 4. And for the second time in 2008, a driver sweeps both events. Carl Edwards will win it Saturday and Sunday at Michigan. Great finish here. Matt Kenseth. Whoa. Jimmy Johnson down in the grass. Saves it from going against the wall. He will come across. And Matt Kenseth just did get the 8 car of Mark Martin at the year ago.
Takes the white flag.
White flag, buddy.
Less than half a mile from back-to-back victories for Carl Edwards. Down the back straightaway. Got a hammer in turn 3. Got some traffic in front of him. And Carl Edwards will come down and win for the second time in his career in Bristol, Tennessee.
Kyle Busch is going to finish second. Denny Hamlin third.
Awesome race.
Kevin Harvick comes across fourth. Jeff Gordon in fifth. Those guys really needed good runs, and they were able to make good nights.
Carl Edwards just hanging on for dear life out there with 3 laps to go.
Left. 2. Nice and smooth, buddy. Nice and smooth.
Here comes Jimmy Johnson for that third spot with Matt Kenseth. You know, we heard Dave Burns ask Carl Edwards before the race about going out there and doing all you can do, and it might not be enough. And this is exactly what he's talking about, because this 48 team just makes something out of what could have been a disaster today, and he's going to gain very few points.
He's going to get another spot here. Denny Hamlin ahead of him. He's still got another lap.
How about that? He could end up finishing second.
White flag. One more time. Bring it back here.
See Hamlin really fighting the steering wheel right there.
This is the final lap, so no chance for green-white checker, but here comes Jimmy Johnson on Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, he gave him that outside. I was a little surprised there. If he makes that run, we talk about this turn 4 pass. It's not going to be for the win this year, but it might be for second spot. There's Carl Edwards.
Here's the battle for second as they are in turn 3. Carl Edwards. Whoa, coming out of turn 4 cut. As the 48 makes the pass, and Carl Edwards will come down and win for the 7th time in 2008. And Jimmy Johnson finishes second. The 88 problem gave Jimmy Johnson one more position. Watch Jack Roush standing there watching. Bob Osborne. Can they get it done? Can they squeeze enough fuel?
They might be able to pull this thing off.
Man, what a great call. We hadn't even considered that, you know, because nobody's been anywhere close to that.
They would have to go 69 laps. They've gone now 68 laps. White flag.
It's amazing. We see the guy that's getting ready to win this race getting passed by everybody on the racetrack, but he's on a different agenda.
He's got to run half a lap.
If he can make it half a lap, he will narrow almost 80 points off of Jimmy Johnson's lead. He said if we can just get it down to 100 or less at Homestead, we got a shot.
I like his chances from here. Wow, what a call.
He's going to make it.
What a call.
Coming out of turn 4, what a call. Carl Edwards gets it done and wins at Texas.
Man, oh man. Jeff Gordon's going to finish second.
Hell yes. Right there. That's Ford fuel mileage. Great job.
I got to hand it that. That was amazing.
Wow.
The differential.
Great job. It's over. We won it, right? You won it.
You won.
That is amazing.
Oh, yeah. J.B. Murray comes on third. Clint Boyer fourth. Greg Biffle fifth. A good points day for Biffle also.
No, he might make it.
Hey,
You got 14-second lead.
He's
2
got-
laps when you come around.
He's got 14 seconds, so he's just barely on the throttle right now.
A 40-second lap right here could get him done.
It's still running fine.
Watch it. He'll get out of the gas and just coast.
Here's the 6 car, David Reagan now moving in. Reagan back in 3rd position.
Only 2 laps to go. Less than that now for Carl Edwards.
Here's the 18 of Kyle Busch going by Reagan for position. Now Kyle takes 3rd away.
Second lead if I keep slowing down.
Okay, it's hard to tell whether he's out of fuel or just how slow he's running. He's still running.
Tell me how big my lead is now. 13 seconds, bud. 13-second lead.
Okay, it's a white flag here.
What am I looking for, Bob? 6 car.
Okay, now the 29 car is in second place, and he is another 13 seconds back. All Carl has to do is just make sure this thing will come around to the finish.
10-second lead now, bud.
Final lap for Carl Edwards, who has led the most laps, trying to coast home with yet another win in 2008.
He's going to make it, guys. Here he comes.
Out of turn 4.
Great job. It's running out right now. It's running out right now. We're out again.
Carl Edwards gets his 9th win of the year, and Jimmy Johnson makes history as a 3-time consecutive NASCAR Sprint Cup champion.
He is only 11 seconds behind Jimmy Johnson.
Man, Carl Edwards, we've seen him do amazing things the last few years with fuel mileage, but this is really going to be one of his best efforts if he makes this work.
In the final lap here goes Jeff Burton around. And the big question is, can Jimmy Johnson make it on fuel?
Well, he's kept Kevin Harvick behind him also, watching the battle.
Carl Edwards down in the field.
Bud. You only got 3/4 of a lap. Let it go if you need to.
There it is.
42's out of gas in front of you on the bottom.
You heard it. Montoya has run out of fuel, but here comes Carl Edwards. He's done it. He swept the weekend. And now, who's going to end up ahead in the chase? There's Jimmy. Here comes Harvick. They're both heading for the stripe. And they cross with Johnson in 5th. Harvick in 6th. Down the backstretch. The race well in hand for Jimmy Johnson. The race leader right in front of him there, the 99 of Carl Edwards. What a day for Edwards. He's going to come up on the white flag lap. There it is. Just one more circuit.
One good lap.
Nothing any of these guys can do. That hammering you hear is the sound of the nail of the final coffin on the Chase contenders' hopes of upsetting Jimmy Johnson.
Got a lot of champagne. Half a lap, bud.
Carl Edwards is going to win the race, but coming through turns 3 and 4, the championship is going to go to Jimmy Johnson. And if you don't think he's going to be one of the greatest, think
You're
again.
looking at the 5-time champion.
You're looking at him.
Yeah! Woo! You guys are the best! Boy. Unbelievable! Yeah! Woo!
White flag in the air.
Smooth, bud. Nice and smooth, man.
She's a race now, Larry.
Stewart, after that good strategy call, can get only so close to Carl Edwards. Round turn 3 and into 4. Stewart packed it in there, but Carl Edwards.
That's the first one of the season. Woo!
Carl Edwards gives Ford its 4th win in the last 5 races.
Great work, fellas.
Edwards wins the.
You know, there's not any side-by-side racing right now. Everybody's sort of strung out, and this is good for Carl. He doesn't want to see any accidents. He doesn't need a caution.
3 more times.
He just needs to run about 4.5 miles and be done with this baby.
4 laps to go. Quickest car on the racetrack is Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch. Tony Stewart right with them in 4th.
Mike, Carl has just been so hooked up all night long. He can run the bottom, and that's really been his big advantage. Right there, he is on that white line, both ends of the racetrack.
In the prior 4 years that this has been a 4-segment race, no one has led at the end of segment 3 and gone to victory lane. Carl Edwards is trying to break that string.
Kyle Busch did exactly what I said he should do. He moved up the racetrack, running a little bit higher line, and he is closing that gap on Carl Edwards in a hurry.
He was 3/10 quicker than Edwards that lap.
He is coming big time. Look at this gap right. Look at it close in 3 and 4.
Lap and a half to go.
Oh, they want it so bad, Darrell. You know that.
White flag.
He's going to catch Carl going into turn 3. Don't know if he can do anything with him or not, but he's going to catch him.
Edwards on the bottom.
Kyle he waited too long to move up. I think if he moved up sooner, he might have caught Carl and had a shot at him, but it's going to be too little too late.
2 more corners for $1 million. Edwards comes up a groove. Busch close, but not close enough. Carl Edwards wins the Sprint All-Star race and $1 million.
All right, baby. Awesome work, Mr. Edwards. It's over, right? It's over. That's it. Checkered flag's out.
He's going to take home $1,203,000.
Oh my gosh!
Oh boy!
He just tore his car all to pieces. He hit the manhole down there.
Hamlin, he'll go on the apron.
He's on the apron. This could get big when they get to 3.
Hamlin could be, is second going into turn 3.
Can he hold it down? No, yes he can. He got it.
Winless streak over. Off turn 4. Carl Edwards wins the Subway Sprint 500.
There's Ryan Newman.
He's right behind his teammate, Mark Martin.
And remember, Truex is in there. He could get in with a win here. Edwards and Menard.
Edwards beat Menard there to the line by a lot. I don't know if the NASCAR is going to like that.
To move Kurt Busch. Holy cow, look at that car.
Trying to find a way to win the race. 2 laps to go. Newman hung back in 5th place, trying to get 4th and 3rd. He'll get to 3rd. He's only got a lap and a half to try and get to the lead and the win. Jeff Gordon outside of the top 10 in the restart shuffle. Logano back in with now 1 lap to go at Richmond. Now it's Newman and Truex fighting for a wild card spot in the last lap. Truex has got to pass somebody in these final 2 corners to get in. Carl Edwards is going to win the race.
And you'll never see Jimmy Finning get excited. I don't care what happens. Anything can happen. He never gets excited and gets
Yellow light.
got a yellow.
Caution with 3 laps to go.
Yeah, he needed about 2 more laps to get to that white flag, and we'd have had a race. But again, the trends normally speaks the truth.
I take that back. I think Jimmy Finning just got excited. I think it's raining.
It is.
I think it might be. Maybe it's raining,
it's
or maybe
pouring. Suddenly, a cloudburst. Fans are running for cover.
Yellow checker this time, I believe.
That's what I do.
We're coming up on 503 laps.
Yeah, you'll be getting it here.
The fans waited.
Good job, buddy. Good job,
2 hours this afternoon, over 3 hours tonight. Enough. Mother Nature wins, and so does Carl Edwards.
Carl, think about it, brother. Think about it.
He's asking the fans. He sticks the landing.
He did it.
Wine country. He's a magician atop the pit box. The 2 worked hard together to win at Bristol back in March, trying to nail down their 2nd win of the season today, and he will see the white flag as they come off of turn 11.
And you can tell by looking at this, Kyle, that Carl all of a sudden has backed it down just a little bit. He's being really, really careful right here.
One more time,
because he just lost over half a second to Jeff Gordon on that last lap.
Yeah, that was a pretty conservative lap. We saw the car step out, getting into turn 7 a little bit, kind of bad. Made his way through the S's and was very, very careful getting into turn 11. And it goes back to what Larry says. You get to that white flag lap, then you just got to maintain this pace.
Going to be no overtime today in Sonoma. The leaders working their way off of turn 4 for the final time this afternoon. Down to turn 7, one of those passing zones, but Gordon not close enough to make anything happen.
Boy, Jeff is, I know he's running everything he's got right now.
And this,
because he's only got 1 more shot at it, and I don't think he's going to be able to get close enough. But
and we've seen that 99 smoke the tires of Carl Edwards, smoke the tires getting into turn 7 the last 2 or 3 laps.
Through the high-speed portion of the track for the final time. Gordon closing in as they head toward turn 11. Gordon driving it in hard. Edwards locks it down, maintains the top spot, and drives off of turn 11 clean.
He's won 22 times in his career, but never on a road course. That's going to change today. Carl Edwards, a winner at Sonoma.
Great run for Junior.